From Robo to Lobo, nerds like a lot of things, but there's something they love above all else. That is correcting people. This is Actually. Joining us today, we have Brennan Lee Mulligan.
Get in the comments.
No. I'm gonna cut this off right now.
Get in the comments.
And next up we have Jess Clemons.
Hi.
And next to Jess, we have a very special fan contestant for this episode. From Austin, Texas, this is Chris Calilung.
Hello.
Chris is a fan just like you who got to be on the show. If you want to be on the show, subscribe to Dropout. Get on the Discord. We've been banging this drum for a while, and it's your own fault if you haven't gotten on it. How's everyone feeling? Woo! Ready to battle each other to the death over a bunch of pointless.
Ooh, to the death.
Yeah, yes, one of you is going to die today. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that before you flew out here. Someone's going to die.
Someone call my mom.
Yeah. Well, you all know how this game works. You've seen enough episodes, and you've been on before. But in case you don't know, these are a stack of questions that contain false statements, the things you know and love. It's up to you to spot what's wrong with it and correct me using the phrase actually. If you don't say actually, I won't give you the point, and you can interrupt me at any point as I'm reading the question, just like in real life. You guys ready to roll here?
Yes.
Well, let's do it then. This first question is about comics. Superman vs. The Amazing Spider-Man was the first superhero crossover comic between DC and Marvel. It featured an array of fan-pleasing moments, including a villainous team-up of Doc Ock and Lex Luthor, a fistfight between Morgan Edge and J. Jonah Jameson, and a double date with Clark, Lois, Peter, and Mary Jane. Brennan.
Actually, the double date wasn't between Clark, Lois, Peter, and Mary Jane.
Who is it between?
I think that in that crossover, he was not dating Mary Jane.
That's actually, there was the double date between them. I just wanted to see who you would guess. That's not what was wrong.
Isn't that a little bit weird? Because in that continuity, aren't they like teenagers? Isn't that like two professional journalists going on a date with two high schoolers?
Yeah, for sure.
Gross.
They're journalists. Maybe they're investigating a story. Peter Parker's kind of a journalist too,
He's
right?
also pretty mature for his age, right?
Yeah, he built web shooters.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
he's
he
basically an
stuff out.
adult.
Actually,
Yeah, Chris.
was it not Doc Ock and Lex Luthor?
It was Doc Ock and Lex Luthor.
Shoot.
Just want to venture a guess?
I'm so nervous. My mom will have my head if I get this wrong.
Why will your mom have your head if you get
My
this wrong?
mom loves DC and Marvel.
Crossovers specifically.
Specifically crossovers.
Oh.
Actually, I think the first crossover was Wonder Woman. Oh, I'm so wrong, but Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel.
No.
What
no,
was it?
that's
What's
not
the
it.
answer? Tell me. Tell me.
Actually, none of the moments were fan-pleasing.
No one was happy with any
No
of
one was
this.
happy with any of it. Everyone went, this is disturbing. These two older adults. These two
You really
younger
hung up on me.
adults. I hate it. Comparable ages, please.
The old grouch Brennan.
Very well. Well, no points for that one. The answer here, actually, Edge and Jameson actually get a drink together. They don't have a fight. They have a drink together, and they commiserate about how their star reporters or photographers are never around when something big is happening. And it's this they like really find common ground and just have like a nice moment.
You know, that's genuine.
And we'll move on to our next question about video games. The original NES game, The Legend of Zelda, started players out as Link, armed with only 3 heart pieces and a sword, and let them immediately begin exploring a non-linear world packed with 8 boss-filled dungeons. Jess.
Actually, it's more, isn't it like 9? No? Okay, I was completely wrong. Sorry, I was like, I played that and I feel like it was more than. Okay,
It lasted for a long time when I was a kid.
When I was a
Time had
child?
no. Yeah,
It was weeks.
half hour felt like a year. Gosh, aging sucks.
So whimsical.
Brennan.
Actually, Link doesn't start with a sword.
That's correct.
Does he not?
He does not start with a sword. Yeah.
He's in like a little Deku. He's like in the little Deku village. He's just hanging out. You're not walking around strapped in the middle of your hometown. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
gets
you know,
it,
like, it's
oh my
dangerous
gosh,
to
you're
go
right.
alone. Take
Yeah.
this, you know,
Yeah,
like you have that
that's right.
Now it like came to me. I was like, yep, I didn't start out with a sword. You just start out in like, don't you start out in like his little hovel?
His little hovel. Hovel.
for the simple lives of these. I'm just saying, these sweet little forest elves in these hovels. Maybe we're not all these big, powerful Hylian castle dwelling or out in the desert with the Garuda, but you know what? They live a simple life.
Yeah, they're in their little huts. And
I
Link
struck
wakes
a nerve
up.
and I did it. I'm so sorry.
Well, that is a point for Brennan.
Congrats.
Thank you.
We'll move on to our next statement here. In Highlander 2, The Quickening, we learn that the mysterious immortals are actually aliens originating from the planet Zeist, a world that is referenced throughout the remainder of the Highlander series, but never actually shown.
Actually,
Yeah,
is it not the planet Zeist?
it is the planet Zeist. Brennan.
Trapp hates me. Actually, the planet Zeist is shown. We do see it in Highlander 2. The Quickening.
We see it in Highlander 2, but we do not see it in the remainder of the series.
Oh, we didn't see it in the remainder of the series. Okay.
So you're wrong.
Or am I just right in a different way than you were expecting?
Actually, Zeist is shown.
That's kind of what Brennan said.
What? Oh, God. Let me take another
I mean, at this point, do I even need to say get in the comments? Because
No, please don't.
you need to get in
Don't
the
get in the
comments.
comments. Oh, God. What did I do?
They'll burn me.
They will put me on the stake. Please. Answer.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
We do see Zeist in Highlander 2. I said it's continually referenced throughout the remainder of the series. In point of fact, they tried to scrub that from the rest of the series. They were like, that was a huge mistake. In fact, they even re-released a version of Highlander 2 called the Renegade version, where they removed all the Zeist
Why?
references, everything about aliens, because they thought it sucked. They're like, we made it. This was a mistake. We shouldn't have done this. It was like a richer lore when it was just like, yes, they've always been on Earth, and this is just they've just been beings that have been here, rather than like, we are from Zeist and we will go to Earth to compete.
That's insane.
If you had to pull a Zeist on anything, like take one detail and be like, let's scrub that. That was a mistake. Let's not do that. What would you do that for?
I guess me answering Brennan. Answering the question. Noticing it was Brennan.
I didn't necessarily mean your own life. I meant like in something, but you can also do it for your own life.
In real life.
Yeah.
There was a couple huge ones that I think the fan base would want a Zeist, which would be, we got to make that the verb
Yeah,
now.
verb.
Oh,
We
God, we got to
Zeist
Zeist
it.
the
Yeah,
hell
we
out of
Zeist
that. People probably want to Zeist midichlorians, right, from Star Wars. I'd want to Zeist the way that the armies of the dead are depicted in Return of the King, where it's like, oh, like invincible Pac-Man ghost army that comes out of no. Like, why did the riders of Rohan all just die in the Battle of Pelennor Fields? You could have just hung back for another 10 minutes, and this ghost crew would have swept in and taken care of everything. Yeah, I'd probably Zeist that pretty hard.
Staying on topic, I would maybe Zeist the Hobbit movies or even the prequels from Star
hell
Wars.
yeah.
This is all of it.
Yeah.
We can talk about it, but it never really happened.
Rankin Bass did it right the first time. This brings us to a first for actually. The first thing we're going to do, keeping in thing with the fan episodes, this is our first fan-submitted question that a fan has sent in for you to answer. This comes to us from Bits number 7563.
Bits.
Bits.
Thanks, Bits.
Thanks, Bits.
If you'd purchased the original release of Dungeons & Dragons in 1974, you'd have found everything you need to run a campaign, but it would look very different from the D&D you know today. Among the differences, only 3 character classes were available: Cleric, Magic User, and Fighting Man, and Hobbit was one of the playable races. Brennan?
Actually, Hobbit was not one of the playable races. It was Halfling.
It was Hobbit. It was later changed to Halfling because it was like, the Tolkien estate was like, you can't do that, and, which is kind of where like Halfling was like, oh yeah, this is something else. This isn't a Hobbit.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yes.
was he called a wizard? Not a.
No, it was a magic user, yeah.
Okay.
Jessica.
Actually, Hobbit wasn't one of the.
That is, again, what Brennan said.
Wait, no! Okay, maybe I just stand so hard for Brennan's quick answers that I'm like, I'm seriously not trying to steal your thunder right now.
You're not stealing. It's not thunder. I'm
Stealing
and
his
you're
drizzle.
also up by
Leave it in
copying
the
me.
comments. What do you
Get it in the comments.
Tag yourself.
I wish you would steal my thunder because I have nothing to give you.
Damn it.
I wish that I had better stuff for you to take.
Give me something.
Do you want to take another go?
Yeah, no, he got it. He got it. It's fine.
Actually, you would not have everything you needed in the original set that you would buy in 1974 because there would be elements of the game that were not included in that set.
That's correct.
There wouldn't be dice, right?
There wouldn't. It would actually what it was is in the original white box, it presumed that players owned and already knew the rules to 2 other games called Chainmail and Outdoor Survival.
Right. Chainmail. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Alternatively, Fighting Man is just a fun label for that class.
What do you do?
Yeah, me? I'm glad you asked.
What an
Fighting Man.
Fighting Man also doesn't, like, if I hear Fighting Man, I don't think, like, swordsman. I think, like, drunk in a bar.
Yeah, just like swinging. Yeah,
for
that's
pugilists.
immediate.
Yeah, exactly.
Weirdly, an unnecessarily gendered, non-descriptive term. The term warrior is right there.
No, we don't want that. He's a fighting man.
He's a fighting man.
We don't want a boxman. Like, well, not war necessarily, just generally getting into scraps. Well, that goes to Brennan.
Thanks, Bits.
Okay, this brings us to our first shiny question of the game. Shiny questions, like shiny Pokemon, worth the same number of points, just a little bit different and a little bit rarer. And this is a game called A Title of Words. You may have noticed that sci-fi and fantasy books tend to have titles that are like a blank of blank or a something of something. So we've taken the nouns to 6 different titles and we've scrambled them all up, and it'll be up to you to try to arrange them into the combination of books that are the actual titles. Whoever can get the most will get the point for this question. Sound cool?
Cool.
All right, let's flip those over. Let's see what you got. Jess is just gonna put whatever Brennan puts.
I've only got one for sure, and now I'm looking at the rest and being like, do I want to take stabs at it, or do I want to be funny?
I'm just creating fun scenarios.
Oh gosh, I'm so glad we're all in the same boat.
All right, we will start. We'll start at the end and work our way this way. So, Brennan, tell us about your books here.
First one is The Lathe of Heaven.
Okay.
The Courts of Chaos, which there's something in the Amber Chronicles. I remember the name Courts of Chaos vaguely. The Coming of Conan the Cimmerian, which just feels like people would, that guy's a nightmare.
He's showing up. He's coming somewhere.
He's constantly showing. That guy, he shows up. The next one is A Case of Conscience, which feels weirdly non-nerdy. That feels like it would, I don't know, be like a airport, like John Grisham novel. The next one is Children of Blood and Bone. And the last one is one that I'm planning on writing, which is The Shambles of a Walking Tour, which is, like a long walking tour, and like it was too long, and you get to the end, and it's like, oh, we lost a lot of people. Some people have peeled off to the cafeteria early.
Very good. How confident are you in these answers?
I think I got one.
Okay, Brennan, you got 5 of these right.
Whoa! Whoa!
What?
But we
Are
will,
you joking?
I am not joking, but see, we got down here, and then we'll.
That's awesome.
None of
Wow.
mine are his.
Wow.
You're supposed to copy Brennan. And that's it for this preview of Actually. If you liked it, there's a whole lot more waiting for you on Dropout. Go to dropout.tv to start your free trial today. I'm Mike Trapp, reminding you to get your pets spayed and neutered, and to get your zombie pets obliterated. Zombie pets. They're not the pets you loved anymore. They're gone. They're gone. Kill them. Kill them. We're going to put a review up on the screen here. That is a snippet of a movie review. It'll be up to you to see if you can identify the movie based just on the criticism that is put forward here.